Hey everyone, time again for another Willie's Ramblins and Pickup video. Been traveling a lot the past few weeks for work. Done a little bit of retro game hunting. Found a few things, nothing really spectacular, but some stuff I've been wanting for my collection. I'm getting ready to head up to the New York Toy Fair. It's coming up this weekend. I was invited up there by Coleco. Anyway, let's get on with some stuff I have found. One of the stores I visited on my travels is Matt's Game Exchange. This one is in Florence, Florence, South Carolina. Really great store. He's recently moved his store. It's in the same strip mall as before, but he's got a much bigger place now. Very impressive store. He's still in the process of getting it all set up. He's wanting to do some video game tournaments there and things like that. A lot of cool stuff at this store. I can't say enough about Matt and his stores. Matt's an all-around great guy, very friendly. His guy he's got working for him that does repairs on consoles, things like that, Eric, awesome, a very intelligent guy, knows his stuff. These guys are a great team. Can't say enough about their game store. They always have great prices, always have the coolest stuff in their stores. So if you're in the Florence, South Carolina area, check out Matt's Video Game Exchange. He also has one in Greensboro, North Carolina as well. That's a brand new store. So check that out also if you're over in that part of the neck of the woods. Went down to Augusta, Georgia this week. And while I was down there, I went ahead and I visited a game store there that I've hit before. It's called Video Game Heaven. Wide range of stuff. Of course, they got video games, but they have comic books. They have some vintage and classic toys in there. They have comic books. It's a really cool little store to go into. There's a lot of neat stuff to see, and it is packed. There is stuff everywhere. It's a great place. So if you're in Augusta, Georgia, or you're going to be visiting Augusta, Georgia, check out Video Game Heaven. It's a little hidden. It's a little hard to find, but it's well worth trying to find that store. It's really cool. Alrighty. Lastly, if you have a Second and Charles place in your area, I highly recommend that every once in a while you just peruse the free bin out front. I got really lucky the past couple weeks. I've hit a couple Second and Charles stores, and I've gotten a couple free games that were in the free game bin. I mean, in the free bin when they put books and stuff like that they just want to get rid of. Sometimes you'll find video games in there for free. I never really looked before. I just happened to do it about a few months ago in July when I found a box Beauty and the Beast for the Intellivision. And ever since then, every time I go to one, first thing I do is I scan that free bin and see if there's anything in there. And this time I found a couple things in the free bin. Awesome. So let's get to the pickups. First thing I picked up, it's not a big deal, but I wanted it for my collection. I picked up the picture label version of Combat. I've got the regular text label. I wanted a picture label version of the Combat game. I think this is some really great artwork on here. We got the triplane right there. You got your tank. We got jets. This is some great artwork. Atari put some really awesome artwork on their games, especially the early ones in the 70s. There's some really cool stuff on the Atari. So I'm pretty happy to get a hold of that. I know it's Combat. Ooh, but hey, I like it. Let's see. Oh, the next thing I picked up was another set of Sega 3D glasses. I am loving playing Zaxxon 3D with these bad boys. So now I got two of these. The other one's over there. I'll go get it. So not one, but two. Two, yes. In the box. Awesome. So anyway, this one I'm going to send to my buddy Indie Soul over in Korea. He's been wanting a set of 3D glasses for quite some time, and these I got really cheap. They didn't work because that's why I got them so cheap, but I got them working. I fixed them. I'm going to go ahead and send this to my buddy Indy Soul over there, who does the Greatest American Hero podcast, Vetrix Radio with me. And he also does a virtual reality podcast called VR Enclave. Warning, it's an adult podcast. But it's funny. It's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm really glad to get a hold of these. I got these down at Matt's Game Exchange. He gave me a great deal on these. I really appreciate that he did that. Something else I picked up at Matt's Game Exchange, been looking for one of these for a really long time, is the Master System converter for the Sega Genesis. Yeah! In the box. It's got a really good box. Comes with the instructions and everything. Looks brand new. Looks like it's never really been used. Look at that bad boy. Oh yeah. Been wanting one of these for a long time. So thanks again to Matt for giving me a great deal at Matt's Game Exchange. Awesome. Okay, now, get over there, you. Let's look at some other games I picked up here. Alright, first off, I found Star Gunner by Telesys for the Atari 2600. Not too bad of a game. This is one of the games that was in the free bin at 2nd and Charles. Awesome. Gameplay is kind of like Defender a little bit. Even the shot kind of sounds like that shot from Defender almost. I don't know what my thoughts are about this game. It's kind of strange. Not sure if I really like this game or not. But it was free. I'm not going to pass it up. Another game I picked up for my Sony PlayStation is Mr. Domino. No one can stop Mr. Domino except chess pieces and guys throwing dice and things like that. Really neat little, kind of like a action puzzle game almost. You play Mr. Domino or you play Mrs. Domino with your little bun things on top of her head. You run around and you put down dominoes behind you and you try to create a long chain of dominoes. The longer domino chain that you can make, the higher the score you can get. And the track is circular, so you're running around the same track over and over again, trying to build longer and longer chains of dominoes. Then when you come back around, you just hit one of the dominoes you put up earlier, and then it'll all fall down like dominoes do. And you get a score based on how long of a chain that you made. Very unique game. I'm really enjoying it. I never knew this game even existed. I happened to see it. I was like, oh, that looks interesting. I think I'm going to pick it up. The next thing I picked up for my Intellivision was Pinball. I love pinball games, especially electronic pinball games. The one on the Intellivision is pretty good. It's not too bad. The ball physics are a little off, a little hard to get used to. And I can't seem to play pinball games worth a darn anyway, so I still like this game. I got a loose copy. So now I got a complete box copy with the instructions and everything. So that's pretty cool. Then I added a lot of games to my Super Nintendo collection. Picked up Gravis III. Yeah, Gravis III. Really neat side-scrolling shoot-'em-up game. A lot of different options. I like the homing shots the best. Not homing, that's on the other game I got. Strike that. No. Anyway, I like the ability of powering up your shots. And you'll see a little gauge on the bottom of the screen as you collect these little pickups. It'll advance one. And if you want to use that power-up, you hit your action button to activate that power-up and start using it. It's kind of a neat idea. Really fun game. I like the Gravis series. Next one I picked up, another side-scrolling shooter, Earth Defense Force. This one has the homing shots I just mentioned in it. I like using the homing shots in this. It's not as good as a game as Gravis 3 is, but it's fairly entertaining. It's not too bad. I mainly picked it up because it said Earth Defense Force on it, because I love Earth Defense Force on my Xbox 360 and on my PS4. I love those games. This has really nothing to do with that. It just shares the name, basically. But it was kind of cool. It's a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up, which I like. So it was well worth picking up. Next thing I picked up out of the free bin at Second and Charles was Space Invaders for the Super Nintendo. Really great version of Space Invaders from the arcade to the Super Nintendo. You have the classic Space Invader look. You have the color Space Invaders. It does the cellophane overlay kind of thing. What's really neat is it has a two-player competitive Space Invader game on here. It's a lot of fun to play. So yeah, I like Space Invaders, and of course for free, you can't pass it up. Awesome, great addition to the library. The next thing I picked up was Operation Logic Bomb by Jaleco or Heleco. Top-down shooting game. Kind of reminds me a lot of like a Gauntlet type game. You run around inside of a maze. Gauntlet meets Alien Syndrome, something like that. You have different weapons you can pick up, and you got different enemies that you fight. You got puzzles to solve, things like that. It's actually a really good game. I'm really enjoying it. The only hard thing about it that I'm having trouble with is getting my guy to shoot the same direction and get him to strafe. I'm so used to playing dual stick shooting games where you move with one and you shoot whatever direction with the other one that I can't get my mind to quit doing that on a Super Nintendo controller. It doesn't quite work that well when you try to do that. But it's a great game. I'm having a real good time with this. And then for my PlayStation 2, on a whim, it was only $4 at Second and Charles, I picked up Starsky and Hutch. I love that Gran Torino. That was probably my favorite car at the time in a TV series, was that Gran Torino. I thought it was the neatest looking car. Actually, it's a pretty fun game. I never really gave this game a second thought. I remember seeing it in the stores. But for $4, I figured, what the heck? I'll go ahead and pick it up because it had some neat pictures on the back where you do stunts and things like that. Now, what's really cool with this is that this game is compatible with a steering wheel and compatible with a light gun, which I had no idea it was. I would love to try playing this with a light gun and see how it plays. But yeah, it's a really fun game. I played the first episode, basically where you're chasing down a car and you're trying to stop it. So you got Starsky hanging out Hutch hanging out the side of the car. He's going to shoot at the enemy guy, trying to get away. You got ramps you jump over and barrels you blow up, and oh, it's cool. This was actually a fairly decent game. I'm fairly happy with it. I'm glad I picked it up, so I'm going to give it a little bit more time and give a little more play into it. And maybe do a video on it sometime. That'd be a really cool thing to do. Then, also at Second and Charles, now these weren't in the free bin. No. I picked up a boxed Atari 5200 Rescue on Fraculus, Lucasfilm game. Pretty fun game. It's not too bad. The basic premise of the game is you're flying over a planet, Fraculus, and you're scanning for downed pilots. You have to land and then turn off all your systems. The pilot comes running up to your ship. You hear him pop, 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 beat on the back door in the airlock. Open the airlock, let him in, take off, repeat. Every once in a while, you may find an alien that has infested a ship. And normally you can tell they're aliens when they're running up at you. They'll have a green helmet. And in that case, you need to destroy the ship right away or turn your systems back on to fry them. Otherwise, you'll see them pop up in front of your screen going, beating on your window and stuff like that. But I've never seen a box version of this game before, so I was pretty happy to pick this up. Even though I do have a multi-card, I really don't collect cartridges for 5200, I couldn't pass these up. The next one I picked up, another Lucasfilm game, is a boxed Ball Blazer. Love this game on my regular Atari 8-bit home computer. A lot of fun to play. It's kind of like playing a soccer type game. You ride these little ships, you run over this little grid, and you try to get your magnetic ball, and you try to get out to the other end of the field and put it through some hoops. What's neat about this game is, as one side is winning, you'll see the goalposts getting smaller, 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 and smaller. making a harder target to hit. That is a really neat element of gameplay that I didn't really catch when I used to play this game. I just happened to notice it this time. Yeah, I'm not very observant. That's why I wear glasses. But yeah, awesome game. The box is in really good shape. It's got the instructions, the whole 9 yards. So it's kind of cool having a couple boxed. My mind went blank. A couple boxed Atari 5200 games in my collection. Another one I have is Star Raiders, because that's my all-time favorite game on the Atari 8-bit. And I've got a box Tempest, which was a purchase from Atari Age when they were selling the box version. You can buy the loose cartridge right now, I believe. But I don't know about the box, though. Anyway, that is all the pickups for this week. So hopefully the next video you'll see will be me at the toy fair, reporting on it and see what kind of cool stuff I can find. So until then, keep on gaming.